you did have some good ideas, and in fact, but there was one idea, I guess, initially in your career. You wanted to take your band and your roster of bands, and put them all on tour in one package, which is a great idea, and it's done to this day. But this was Startruckin '75, and I think there were some issues with this tour. Can you kind of talk
Well,
us through it?
one of my main acts was Lou Reed, and who apparently knew nothing about the tour, because he had left the agency that I had made the deal with. But as the day was approaching that he was supposed to join the tour, which was a good idea, basically, that I would put all these headliner acts on, and I'd have my acts on it as well, and that would make them more exposed and bigger, So it was sort of like a Lollapalooza, or one of these other big festival tours that like are happening today. But Lou wasn't going to show up. Well, I finally found him, in a hotel room in, it was Australia or New Zealand or somewhere, and I talk about it in the book. I finally got through to his room, and his assistant answered the phone. And I said, well, Lou, I need to know when Lou is coming. And she's, the assistant said, well, Lou is not doing a tour. We don't know anything about a tour, and he's in the bathroom now. He can't come to the phone.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'll wait. And they said, well, it might be a long wait. So what are you talking about? Well, he's been in there 3 days, and I don't see him coming out anytime soon. At that point, I knew the tour was in big trouble. So Lou never showed up. The promoters hit me, of course. I had to scamper around to find a replacement, which Turner did, which was a great show, but of course it cost a pretty penny, and I ended up bankrupt, on the verge of bankrupt, and lost everything. All the bands wrote me off. I had no more money. And, I was basically back down to zero, or actually less than zero, because I owed a lot of people money, So it was a great lesson in, what goes up can go down, and it's not that difficult to go down.